Welcome back to Time Out with Sports Adda. Gujarat Titans debut season and they made it to the finals. And how? Three sixes. I think it just gave me a nostalgia of remember the name Carlos Brathwaite. Something like that. Three sixes in the
No
end
doubt,
to
no
win
doubt.
the game. Excellent innings. Bhavik, I'll let you take over because you have been watching Gujarat closely. You've been supporting Gujarat for a very long time since the first game, I'm sure about it. And you predicted when all the odds were against the Gujarat team, you said that they are going to chase this total down with three balls to spare. They did it quite comfortably. If we can have a look at the scorecard and Bhavik, just take us through this second innings.
Well, you see David Miller, Hardik Pandya, the partnership, the match-turning partnership is what we can say, and that is all
Absolutely.
to speak about this game. I mean, the way they, the partnership, the way it was paced, I mean, it was just so blissful to see. They were not taking any risks. They were not, they were possibly making sure that, okay, we only have to target the loose balls, and they executed it really, really well. So,
Wow.
big kudos to David Miller and Hardik Pandya for this innings of 68 and 40 respectively. Unbeaten, no doubt. And Trent Bolt and Obed McCoy were the pick of the bowlers for Rajasthan. But, hardly anything to speak about for the Rajasthan bowling, because
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was a very, very calculated chase right from the power play. They started off brilliantly, 6 over 64. In this sort of a run chase is commendable in all senses. You have to give
yeah,
credits to
Gold.
Matthew Wade and Shubman Gill, the way they negated the new ball, and they played, Ashwin and even the new ball bowlers, Prasidh Krishna. So, it's very, surreal to see a team which is, giving away performances, performing in a unit, performing in a team
back
repeatedly,
to back.
and
Yeah,
back to back, and chasing down 16 runs, 20 runs, 15 runs in the last over. I mean, they are doing it for fun, aren't they?
Yep. They
No
are. They
doubt.
are.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
so this is a big victory for Gujarat Giants, and they are the deserving finalists, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. There is no doubt about it because they've been ruling this tournament since the first few games, since the first ball, I would say, of the tournament where Mohammad Shami got KL Rahul out to this very moment
all
that
And now
they've got a
they've
foot in the
stormed into
finals.
the final. So, I
yeah.
mean,
Stormed it.
it's a great day to be a Gujarat fan.
Amazing day for Bhavik, yes. But Salil, I just want to talk about the positives here. So we'll talk about Gujarat and the whole approach that they had. So do you think Hardik Pandya and just the way he takes the game or takes these challenges, he's very happy-go-lucky. You know his nature and he's very carefree and his intent was always clear to play positive cricket. And with Ashish Nehra and people like Gary Kirsten who've seen success with the Indian side as well. So do you think that also plays a huge impact when you're a Hardik Pandya? There's no pressure on you being the first time captain. There's no pressure at all, and you've got it in the finals purely on the basis of mental peace and just applying yourself at the right place at the right time. Do you think it's the case here?
Well, it's one of the most clinical performances by any team. The chases have been so smooth for Gujarat Titans. They don't look like they're struggling. This is not the first time they've hit three or four sixes. Mind you, they are the most least hitting sixes. The team that hit the
In the
least
last
amount of
5 overs.
sixes in this IPL, but they have the most
Oh,
amount
Wow.
of fours. So you can just see that they have quite a lot of brain behind the way they go about playing. They know which ones to target. I think they figured out Ashwin is the one that they need to go after. Yuzi Chell is the one that they do not need to give a wicket at all. And I think the way they've executed things is absolutely brilliant. Talking about Hardik Pandya, somebody who scored 450 runs. Um, Obviously, he's come up the order. He used to play at number six for Mumbai, but currently whenever it's required, he can step up a gear. When it's not required, he's happy to just pass on the crease and give it to
Right.
another batsman who's in this case it was Miller who went about delivering the goods. So he's really matured as a player. Talking about a Gary Kirsten, you know what a strategist he is. Ashish Nehra also comes from a background of playing a lot of gully cricket, and Hardik Pandya, you know where he comes from. So clearly, it's more
Yes.
about gully cricket where you're playing 4 or 5 over games. It's about winning those overs, winning those sessions, and you really break down this small 20 over game into many small fragments and matchups and the ones that they want to win. So on paper, they're looking at 8 or 10 matchups and they want to win 7 out of them, and clearly they win that. So that's where the calculation comes from, and that's why Gujarat, in spite of not hitting so many sixes, is one of the most lethal team. And towards the end, whenever they require the sixes, you have the likes of a Miller, Rashid Khan, and Nevatia deliver always. So they're
Yep.
clearly in an excellent space. It's not that they are, this is not a fluke. Clearly, by looking at them on paper, the way they all gel together, they become a very formidable force. So, quite frankly, I mean, they'll be waiting, chilling at the swimming pools around Ahmedabad from here in Kolkata and waiting for whoever is going to come and play them on Sunday. I really hope they don't have an off day and they continue with this, because if there is anyone who truly deserves to win this by bat and ball, it's the Gujarat Titans.
Yeah, very well put by Salil out there, because Gujarat have just dominated this tournament from the very first game, very first ball, like we said earlier. And it would be a shame to see something otherwise in the finals as well. So, congratulations to Gujarat. Bhavik, congratulations that you made your prediction right before in the tournament that Gujarat are the side to watch out for. Now, we made a few predictions. If you can have a look at the results before the start of the second innings, we made a few predictions.
Awade.
And Awade is what they called. We were completely bamboozled here because most of our predictions
Yeah.
went wrong. We were thinking that it would be, a tough chase. Bhavik already said that he believed in it, but low key everyone knew that it's not going to be easy. So, Trent Bolt picking up 2 wickets, best batsman Hardik Pandya, and all of that, all our predictions just went down the wire because they had some other plans. And our
No
winner
doubt.
for today, yet again, the
Woohoo!
undefeated Gujarati boy, from where are you from, Bhavik? Ahmedabad, no chokro, has again got it right. So congratulations,
Thanks,
Bhavik.
yeah.
That
Thanks.
winner tag really suits you, and you just made it your own, like how Gujarat has made. Looking at those green ticks of their own, so brilliant performance by Gujarat's and the Gujarati in our panel. Now, speaking of the coming games, Rajasthan do have another chance in the qualifier too, where they will be playing the winner of the eliminator. Now, Salil, I'll ask you first. What will be the mindset? I know obviously the aim is to win the game, yes, but like you mentioned, a very brilliant point which I kind of didn't think about, it was breaking down the game into smaller sessions in a T20 game, which is already a very small session in itself, not really a test match session as well, but you break it down into 5 overs power play or the last 5 overs. How would Rajasthan go about it? Because Obed McCoy is really leaking runs, and not in this game itself, in every game he's not looked very comfortable with whatever he does. It's just like he's clicking, so he's clicking. But do you think that's a worrisome point for them as a bowling lineup?
I think as a bowling lineup, let me first clarify. Rajasthan has been more of a batting heavy side, for winning the
Exactly, yeah.
matches rather than their bowling. So and they've been a team full of performances that have come from individuals. Talking about their bowling, I think if you look at their bowling attack today, they did not have a sixth bowler. I mean, not having a sixth bowler, if you need to bowl, just
It's a
maybe Ashwin
problem.
has an off day. Everyone cannot have 14 good matches. UZCL doesn't take a wicket. You don't want to give it to a Prasidh Krishna. Where's your sixth bowling option? Are you trying to utilize a Riyan Parab somewhere in the middle? Why not when a wicket falls down? I mean, these are the
Right.
things that they need to think of, and that is what will be the mix that they'll have to put across on whoever wins tomorrow's match, because that clearly is not going to be easy. One, they're not going to be playing on the same ground. Two, and it's again that's the do or die one for them. Lucky for them, they were second on the table, so they have another shot at this. But I think the bowling is where they are missing out. Trent Bolt has been good in the power play, but then leaking runs. Obed McCoy, excellent at the start. When he changed his ends, then he didn't go for as many runs, but they don't look very lethal. Prasidh Krishna has been very off with a lot of high-paced deliveries, which give the batsman a lot of time to make runs. A lot of extras leak
Yeah.
there. When you have five bowlers bowling, you cannot have a little bit of a lack of discipline there, purely because you see how it works out. It just look like you just play out the spinners, and the fast bowlers are going to leak out all the runs, and that's how Gujarat got there, because there is no
Right.
story to tell from a bowling perspective. So I think Rajasthan need to gather themselves there. Probably if they can change and maybe get another bowler or get Riyan Parag to bowl, They have a lot of faith in that. I don't know if Riyan Parag is not going to be batting in the last 2 overs. You maybe get a sixth bowler for all you know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
back your batsman and tell a Padikkal and a Butler that we are playing a batsman short. So you kind of be there, and maybe we might have a score of not 188 but 180, and we might be able to defend it because we have an extra bowler. So I think that's the bowling is the concern which they need to plug, and then they might have a
You're right.
different fate maybe.
So there's an interesting stat that no IPL team has won the tournament without having a left arm in their playing 11. I think RR is one of those sides which has not played any left arm throughout the tournament. You see Chennai, even Deccan Chargers, even the teams that whoever has won an IPL has had a traditional left arm spinner in their side. I think the RR team this time has gone without any, and you can see that they are missing out on that extra bowler. Whereas you see RCB, even Lucknow, even Gujarat, they've all got these traditional left arm who can come in and bowl those overs quickly. With a lot of problems for them in the bowling we faced with RR. Now looking at the games coming, you could see probably a change, like you said, Riyan Parag not batting. Sometimes he's not getting batting, and even if he's batting, he's not someone who is going to bat through the innings. He's someone you've kept only for the last couple of overs. So why not get a bowler? That's an interesting point. We will see in the next game what happens about that. But Bhavik, I would like to ask you. Now you spoke of their batting being a really a powerhouse and bowling being a worrisome point. What about the mentality of the teammates? They've lost this game. It was a very sad defeat for them because they've lost comprehensively. It was not like a close defeat that they can go
Yeah.
get their chin up and be like, yes, we are going to fight again on Friday. But now they've lost completely down and out. So how important would be the management's role here, and what would be the team feeling? And do you think that they can turn it around and actually make it back into the finals?
See, first thing, why this is a one-sided game, why it is not something which went onto the wire, is because it got finished in the first three balls of the last over. 16 runs
Right.
is, it's a daunting task. It's not easy. You don't chase 16 in the last over every day. But the
Yep.
way David Miller, sort of negated those three deliveries, shuffling around the off stump and making a angle for himself, and then he was completely set to have that elevation. So it speaks for itself. Length balls in the crucial overs, not trying a yorker, maybe not trying a bouncer as well, because Prasidh Krishna has
Yeah.
that speed. Maybe a bouncer, maybe a slow one, maybe a fuller ball outside off stump. So these are the areas. Yuzvendra Chahal flighting that ball to David Miller after a four-ball, 4 runs over. Pressure was building up.
Yeah,
But then again, a
absolutely.
loosener from him, David
Bad
Miller
ball.
smashed him for a six. So these are the small areas, just as Salil Bhai mentioned, fragmented into a huge target that you set. So smaller areas resulting in big gains. I guess this is the mantra that Rajasthan should possibly look into when they play the either from LSG or RCB. So this is the only thing. I'm sure even the stat team, the management team, they'll sort of come on board and just sort of guide players that, okay, a couple of balls in these overs were not sort of impactful. You
Up to
got
the
to
mark.
change
Yeah.
your length, maybe you got to bowl quicker, maybe a slow one. So these are the small areas. I'm sure a lot of talking will be done, and they won't be in a negative space, because you when you have those Sri Lankan legends in your team, when you have them backing you inside out. So I mean, a lot of positives will come in. And see, we have talked about Gujarat, but even Rajasthan is a champion team. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
18
They
points
are.
for them is also no joke. You don't see every team qualifying with 18 points every
18
season.
points every year.
18 points, 18 points for a team tops the table. So they've won
Yeah.
9 games out of 14 after losing repetitive tosses. So even that's a possible gain for them going into that qualifier too. But yeah, then again, this is something where both the management and the players will try and keep focus on that positive note, that okay, done is what's past is past, what's done is done. Just move forward. One good game. Let's get back onto the track again, and let's face Gujarat once again.
Probably a revenge time for them. They will also be looking and eyeing at the trophy. because they've looked like a dominating side throughout the IPL. You mentioned that they've lost 13 tosses and they've won those 9 games out of those 13. So it really shows that they have what it takes. It's just that it wasn't there. They were probably Gujarat batted really well, or they just
Really
outplayed
well,
them
yeah,
in
no
every
doubt, no
aspect.
doubt,
Yeah. So
no doubt.
so to all Rajasthan fans, don't be disheartened. You all still have another chance in the qualifier too to make it to the finals. And to the Gujarat fans, you keep partying, you keep enjoying like you all have been. Stay happy. And Salil and Bhavik, thank you for joining with me for Time Out with Sports Adda. We had some great conversations. Really excited for tomorrow's game. It's the eliminator. Lucknow Super Giants taking on the Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Big
It's
heat,
gonna be
big
a
heat.
crackout
Game.
chapter of. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
I'm
fun.
just, I'm
Thank
just,
you once again.
I'm just, sort of awaiting how RCB has made it into the playoffs, and now, how will they play? It's a great game on our hands, no doubt.
Excited,
So they,
excited for
they
tomorrow.
they have got Mumbai Indians to thank for that. But it's gonna be great because from here it's gonna be a fresh start for RCB. If they go on to win the tournament, it is going to be history for them as well. So let's just hope for the best. Thank you once again, finally, for joining with me. This was Time Out with Sports Adda. Have a great night, everyone.